What I said out of hurt. I did not mean to package it the way that I did, but in the moment, I was told live on air what was said by my former mentor. I was triggered. I don't like the way that I represented myself as relates to him because I told myself and promised myself in front of many of you that I would never speak certain things publicly concerning him. So I need to apologize for that, acknowledge that, make a few more statements in this live video. And then after this live video, I'm going into my members only. And I'm going to answer your questions about those things I said, because that's private. And I created that to tell the truth and nothing but the truth. So help me God. I got to tell you how we got here. I'm telling the whole story. Let everybody know that it's time for you to know the truth. So send them the link. Be right back.
My name is Shante Standback, and I am a patron of Dr. Reid's platform, LRL, on Patreon, as well as a member of Reformation Church of Atlanta. I started as a viewer. On Facebook Live. I was introduced to Dr. Reid as he was covering church in the pandemic. A friend of mine shared the video with me and was like, you have to watch this, because this particular episode that he was providing his commentary on hit home for me, as it was the family church that I grew up in. So it was from that moment, and I remember it was October of 2020. And it hit home for me because at that time it was the height of COVID. And although I was no longer a member of this church, I still had family members that were still pretty much, very much a part of it, 4 generations. So it was very emotional for me. But in all that I received from his comedic commentary, who knew that that would be the lure that God would use to pull me in. And that's how my journey started. So I started as a viewer, ended up becoming a patron, and now I am a member, as I stated. I had no idea that I still had so much, as he coins the term, church brain, that still needed to be uprooted. So what Reformation has done for me, what the LRL platform, Patreon, has done for me has been transformational. I was so over church. And I know many have kind of shared and expressed the same thing in this community. But I was over church because I knew it just had to be something so much more to what life was. I saw it as oppressive, and what Dr. Reid has given to me and so many others in this community is experiencing the divine of who we are, the divine being of who God is, in a way that was so limiting from church. And so that is what Patreon, as well as being a part of Reformation Church of Atlanta, has done for me. But it was the lure of his Facebook Lives. And I'll be honest, there were times where I would cringe because my brain sometimes couldn't fathom some of the comedic ways in which he would present topics, but he presented topics that oftentimes the church wouldn't talk about. Things that were oppressive, astrology, sex, things that were often deemed as witchcraft or dark, but yet those are things that were taken from us, that suppressed us, that limit us. And so his teaching, the nuggets and his wisdom from his commentary has been so transformational for me, so life-changing. And so I offer anyone who finds themselves like at the crossroads of just like, it has to be more, like there has to be more than life. It is. It is. This community has helped me to embrace the mystical side of who I am, begin to understand that of what I was called to do, the divine being that I am, to walk boldly in who I am because of who Dr. Reid is and how freeing he is and how bold he is. It allows and has created those same sacred spaces for so many others. So, and that's been my testimony and my journey. I have changed in so many ways for the good in all aspects of my life, from emotional, spiritual, and financial. I can tell you that whole financial wellness plan is a game changer. It has been life-changing. That is who I am. Dr. Reid, thank you for your complete and total yes, and for all that you continue to do.
Looking for a vibrant community where faith meets empowerment? Welcome to the LRL community on Patreon. Here you'll gain access to our financial wellness plan to level up your money game and build your immune system, health and wellness lifestyle plan to keep your health in check. But that's not all. With the groundbreaking AIR project, we're creating jobs in Africa beginning in Ghana. Plus, you'll unlock insider tips from senior executives across industries. And the best part? Be part of daily prayers, weekly coaching sessions with Dr. Larry Reid himself, and so much more. It's time to connect, grow, and thrive. Get the apps, grab the merch, and join us at patreon.com/Larry Reid Live. Let's build something amazing together. The LRL community is waiting for you. Church Critic by Dr. Larry D. Reid. An examination of the Larry Reid Live show perspective. Purchase a copy today by logging on to LarryReidLive.com. That's LarryReidLive.com.
A lie has been told to you, and you have believed it.
It still has such an intensity, and the energy and the vibration in that place, you can feel it once you arrive.
At that moment, they allowed me to release my emotion.
Columbus never set a foot on any American soil before he dies.
The lie is being exposed.
This is for real. They took our strong and able people, but they could never take all Africans away. And today, we have returned in peace.
Stay connected to Larry Reid Live. Take a moment and like the Facebook page, subscribe to the YouTube page and hit the bell. Text LRL to 404-999-7527. That's the words LRL to 404-999-7527. And get notified when we go live. Become a member of Patreon. Log on to patreon.com/Larry Reid Live. Sign up, then download the Patreon app and turn on your notifications. Get connected today.
We're about to have a conversation.
I'm so glad you decided to come on and to have this conversation with me. I am in Dubai. It's 10, what is this here? What time is it? It is 6:31 p.m. here in Dubai. I think it's 10:31 a.m. on the East Coast or wherever you are. As I said when I first started this live stream, what I said when I was told on the official Thai East report, live on camera, what was said by my former mentor, my response was 100% a unrealized hurt I did not know that I was carrying concerning really the past few months, almost a year of what I've had to walk away from, walk through, and deal with as relates to people that I've given my platform to, my money to the tune of multiple millions of dollars. You know about the 3 million tithe and offering that I've given to my former mentor and their ministry. But you don't know about the other millions that I've given to those in my life and my platform, access to what I have, using who and what I am and what God gave me to push others forward so that they can realize their greatest self. I'm the type of person that just stays focused and works. You can do anything, say anything, and I just take it off my back. I work. And for everything done to me and everyone that walk away from me, I end up receiving something massive, something amazing, and I elevate. And I've been in that mode 47, I don't know how many years. I'm 47 years old. But I've always been like that. But when I was told this time, and it wasn't even as bad as it was when he done his first video on the platform that those of you that are on YouTube, you know, has discussed me in not very positive lights for years. It wasn't even as bad as that. But I was at a tipping point. And I want you to hear me, those of you that are walking around here hurt unrealized, especially men, because the way we wired. Let's just call a thing a thing. Women are more emotionally intelligent. I did not know I was hurt. I did not know I was hurt. I have an amazing group of people around me, great friends. Three that are with me right now in Dubai. All of them thought I was hurt for months. I have an amazing Patreon community. And in that community, I have the Celestial Circle. And in that community, there is an advisory board that assists me in leading and forging forward. Everybody asked me, was I hurt? I lied to them, but I didn't know I was lying. I thought I was okay because, unfortunately, my life has been filled with betrayal, hurt, been used, and then tossed to the side. And now what I've done that's so great is no longer remembered. You only remember what I said and done that hurt you. I acknowledge it. Try to make up for it. Typically, it's cash. And then we move forward. And even then, it's not been enough. Get betrayed, done wrong again. And I just keep going. I had no clue that I was hurt. So when Thais, I forgot I got this gum here. I'm surprised I ain't smacking on it. So when Thais began to tell me what was said, and that shade, and that poking that the viewers can't even discern because they don't know. I felt it. At the same time, the platform that he did it on, again, me and him, we had a conversation. And he made a promise on Conscious TV platform, who is the only platform for all these years since 2019 I have been lied on. Has spoke up. He was in my Patreon and just began to do his own research, all these cases and amazing lives that with multiple millions of views when people just, didn't know the backstory. I would do it all in there in Patreon. He was in there. So when he saw this that I couldn't talk about, he began to talk about it. I am forever indebted to him for that because I couldn't speak. And he just looked at the facts and did what he did. He even did it when we were fussing and weren't friendly. I'm just a person of truth. And so for him, I attempted to be friendly with that platform after all of the betrayal you've seen me deal with from YouTubers that used to be my friend. There I go again. And he made a promise in front of everybody that if he was going to discuss his views concerning me, or do commentary as if he don't know what I think, don't know what I feel, to sort of support the narratives of those that he is in relationship with, which is in this case, my former mentor, he will hit me up so he at least could add my narrative or my truth, but he couldn't keep the promise. And once again, you guys have seen me betrayed by another YouTuber. It's been a lot, a whole lot. And every time I speak on it, I feel it. And I thought the last time I spoke on it, I wouldn't feel it. But even as I say it now, I feel it. I began to talk to my friends. I thought the explosion, the emotional explosion on official Thais Report platform was it. But as I began to tell them, I said, y'all, I'm tired. I told my advisory board yesterday, I'm tired. And I began to scream. This is not my character. I'm not that dude. I began to scream and beat my hands into my thighs. I'm tired. I'm tired. I can't take it no more. The betrayal. Who's going to fight for me? I got to stay silent. Another 6 years has been 6 years of just court cases and millions of dollars, and I can't address. Tears down my shirt. In that moment, I said, it's deeper. It may be easy for somebody else, but I have to talk. I have to speak my truth. I have to speak the truth. And I haven't been able. Well, I'm changing that. And after I get off this live, I'm going into my members only on YouTube. And I'm going to tell the truth because I must speak it for my healing. But I made myself a promise I would not do that to my former mentor publicly on the platform I built him on. And although I was on the official Thais Report platform and wasn't on mine, the post I made on Facebook went around the world. In that moment, that emotional decision to make that post that I took down that was grabbed by YouTubers because everybody got made money. I said, you did it. Now, I didn't say everything I could have said, but what I said was damaging enough. And I said I would never do it publicly. You heard me say it. But because of this hurt that I did not know existed in my soul, when I began to be transparent and express what I thought about the blogger, what I thought about my former mentor, these actions, I went 2018 Larry Reid Live, making up names, and it just wasn't what I wanted to do as it relates to my former mentor. I broke my word to me in front of you. I don't like him. Well, you call names of other people, yeah, and I created names. They want my mentor ever. Maybe that's biased, but you hit this one, hit that one, but then you won't hit that one. Well, that one I pastored. That one I pay for their counseling. I can get them, but I'm not. I'm a pretty principled person. And I don't like I did that. I promised myself and I promised you transparency. I never promised you perfection. I repeat, I promise you and I promise myself transparency. I ain't never promised you perfection. So by doing this and being transparent, this is me keeping my promise. I'm not apologizing for telling the truth. I'm apologizing for how I delivered it. See, there's a difference between exposing and exploding. Hear me. There is a difference between exposing, and we need to get used to exposure. And we don't need to think whenever something is exposed, then it's the truth. No. Pluto is in Aquarius, so everything that's under the underbelly comes up, the truth and the lie. What somebody think, what somebody feel, may not be rooted in facts and truth, but all of it comes up now. We're going to be in the age of Aquarius until 2044. But exploding is not exposing. Exposing leads to healing. I exploded, but the truth still stands. What triggered me up this time was how Matthew Stevenson was being handled on that platform publicly. He had just did the same thing to me in May. He did it to Brian Karn. He did it to his son. I spoke with the son, became friends, and now I got the same testimony, the same pain he had. Then he did it to me. I'm good. So I thought. But when he went and exposed Matthew, who became his tenant, and he became his tenant because of Larry D. Reid. He did not trust him. He felt that he was a controller, a manipulator, a witch. And I said, well, fine, but in business, you can trust. Now, I never had no business experience with him, but I've seen it, and it seemed to be, that's all. He said, on your word, although we don't always agree, Matthew said, on your word, I know you tell the truth. I'm going to do it. So Larry makes, you sure? So, yeah, you all right. I knew when I saw what he was doing, Matthew was in pain. We did not deserve to know his personal financial business, and he did not deserve to be lied on, saying he was evicted when he was not. He left. And as I said before, it's public, so I can say this here. Following what's wisest for you, if it caused somebody else pain, because you're following what's right for you, but they feel pained by your freedom and your choice, that's someone who wants to control you. So he stopped all the communication like I did. I respected it and I understood. And now we all see what he ran away from and what I ran away from, what Manasseh ran away from. But that's his dad. You can't call yourself a covering and uncover those you call your sons. You're no longer qualified to be a covering. One of my mentees' sons uncovered me online. I never uncovered him online. It's not my way. I'm principled. But if you want to embrace the idea of covering, he no longer qualifies. A prophetic father who manipulates his sons is not mentoring. He's managing his own image. And I detect and discern there is a desire to manage the prophetic globally, not globalize the prophetic, but to manage the prophetic globally as a king. You can't heal a son by humiliating them and telling all their business and then allude to our financial deal. No. You know, some men don't father, they farm. They plant sons only to harvest their glory later. I discern it. You may ask Larry, he was your mentor. So you're telling me that you partnered with someone that was like this? Absolutely. So you saw some signs? Oh, yes, I did. But I thought they were isolated, circumstantial. I didn't think it was a character issue. I didn't know that. But when I walked away, within 24 hours, the manipulation started. Within months, I'll save that for members only. But ask me about what happened. Then the betrayal was revealed to me in March of 2025. Right after that, posts were made of visiting the White House when he said to me and Manasseh, who he vote for, whatever, is his personal business. If I had been around, I would have said, don't post that, because it raises a question mark over me too, because I platformed you. And they're going to think that I would go and kiss the king's ring in the name of a prophet going to spaces and places that God sends them. God send them, fine. I have no opinion. Well, I have an opinion, but no divine judgment I made. At that moment, I came live. You saw it. I took it down because I realized it pained him. And I basically said, I'm not attached. And I told you guys a story that many YouTubers took and played with and thought it was a lie until he went live and found out everything I said was the truth. I don't tell lies. I'm just not a liar. And that's not a boast. It's just like saying, I ain't no white man. The only thing I'll do that is a lie is not tell you the whole story. I told y'all that. I ain't make it seem like I never do that. That's the only thing I do. Because part of the truth, and not the whole truth, you can look at it as a lie. But making up something on somebody, no, bro. Reid ain't that. I ain't seen that. I'm not raised by parents who do that. That ain't who I am. So when I saw the evicted, and he allowed that to be put out and tell the business of how much is owed, none of this was our business, and it bothered me. I didn't know how much it bothered me. Thais went live to review it. I said a few things in the chat, but I said what I said. It was how I felt, and I didn't think much of it. I didn't check in. You need to check in, because you might be heard about something. It's going to explode in the worst way and can make people look at you a certain kind of way, because that's what happened to me. And then that blogger done a review of this interview with my former mentor. And that's when these narratives come up again. And I could be wrong, but I felt like, that's my former mentor's hand. And he's casting all these things over my character. He's talking about Larry's hurt. Now, I didn't even know I was hurt, but it was a play like my actions and what I'm saying is because of hurt and not truth. Okay. I didn't hear what he said. Thais told me while I was live, and I exploded. There's a difference between exposing and exploding. I exploded, but the truth still stands. And I refused to come up here today like I said I wasn't going to do when I was triggered in that moment with Thais. I refused to use my public platform to misrepresent me. And I refused to make my pain a platform. And I choose maturity over mess, growth over the gossip about what is true. I own my reaction, but I don't own the lie. I'm not going to allow my hurt make me perform like the people who hurt me. Y'all deserve a content creator, a leader, some of them your pastor, your personal prophet, who can admit when emotions won. Everything else I'll say will be for those who have built this community with me. Over there in members only, right after I get off, I'm going to make it really plain. And I'm going to tell you the truth. I'm going to name names. One person I promised not to say their name. So I'm going to keep that promise. I keep my word. The details don't belong to the public. That's the problem I had with what my former mentor did to Matthew. The details belong to the people committed to the process. That's why I talk to the advisory board, my celestial circle, and I dump and I say, and I told them yesterday, I am not okay. I am tired. That's for those you're in covenant with, not for the www dot. The hell? I don't like that. That's why I don't do that. If it ain't public, Larry not discussing that. And in that moment, I was willing to tell everybody secretly with the last name Jordan. Because I was triggered and I was hurt and didn't know I was hurt. And then I was mad at myself for being hurt. Why you let somebody hurt you? See, it's a lot. Spiritual father sitting, throwing shade. Spiritual fathers don't throw shade, they cast light. Those are two different things. A spiritual father shouldn't become insecure when your son is rising. The fact that you become insecure and feel like you need to manage and control says that your father component has been compromised. You become a competitor in clergy clothes and beautiful titles, church titles. Competitor. The hand that anoints should never be the hand that exposes that son. And you don't get to play victim after you've been the villain in private. And that's why it bubbled up. Y'all don't know the things that he has done to me in my ministry and me and Shamako. You do not know. And I thought I was over it. When I say you don't know, I'm talking to those of you that are viewing and his entire family and community, because I haven't said it, but I'm going to say it to members only. Yes, I am. Right after I get off this line. I'm not his enemy. I am just the evidence. And what I'm saying right now, I'm the evidence that all that we built together, me and him, want all God. Because ego and competition, control, master manipulation, something came in there and went off. And then last night late, going to the other platform was low, but then he went lower. He went on the platform of the two men who started telling horrible lies on me December 2019. We're talking about men who put my mama address out, pictures of my mom and dad's home, who put my address out, my social security number, my phone number, who put out the school, private school. I think it was private. I can't remember. They've been in and out of different schools. But the school, the then school of my daughters, who said that I was abusing them, called CPS, Homeland Security, called IRS, tax evasion, they said I was doing, won't filing taxes. Said I got a PPP loan, done it fraudulently. He went there. This same platform who accused him, me, George Bloomer, of trafficking little boys. And get up there and say, oh, I love Larry, and he'll be back. Totally delusional. Coming back to what? No, never. I don't know what it is. So publicly, it's those words, but privately, the treachery. I speak with truth. You can't get mad with me. You can. But Larry Reid called my parents. This is how I was at 3, at 7. This is who I am. I don't have 2 lives. What you see is the truth. And what I tell on myself, the truth. I tell you what come across my mind ain't even did. But you don't have to guess with me. That's why people follow me, learn from me, because they won't ever have to be embarrassed to call me their prophet and their pastor. And I know it won't stop. There'll be a response to this. But you won't hear nothing else from me on this platform. Members only is where it's going to be. I'll respond to everything I feel like I want to respond to and everything I see. There were people who wanted me not to say nothing. I done did that. There are people who wanted me to sue. I already did that. Now I'm going to talk. These vloggers making hundreds of thousands of dollars collectively since December 2019 lying on me. All right. Well, when your followers come over to members only and find out that you are actually the hireling, you are actually the liar, you're the manipulator who's making content and making it salacious, like you're accusing me of, they're going to leave you. One by one, you will all fall, and no one will answer your call. I want you to know that this video is documentation of what is going to be happening in the life of those that have participated willingly in lying on my community, the mother of my children, my best friend, my organization. It's going to be chilling, and we're going to all watch. You have to reap what you sow, or the idea called God is a lie. I'm not the enemy here. November 2024, I was in Ghana. Came out of Nkrumah, Kwame, I can't even think. Kwame Nkrumah, there you go, Dr. Kwame Nkrumah's museum. And the Spirit said, where you are, what I used to bring you where you are, and where you're going ain't the same, and showed me my mentor's face. I mourned for 3 days. I cried over him because I love him. I'm going to always love him. The times, even with things being how it is, if something happens, somebody share or YouTube for some reason send something my way and I see his face, I don't feel disgust. I don't feel any of those things he said that he feel when he hear my name. My love was real. It wasn't predicated upon anything but just love. I made him a promise. I knew people had hurt him, had stabbed him in the back. Now I'm looking back, I don't even know if that's the truth. It could be just his perception. I don't know. But I knew I wasn't going to be a part of that. So I was faithful beyond what I should have did. That's not his fault. And those of you that are making comments saying, you gave his ministry tithe and offering over $3 million. Say, yeah, not counting Taruma. How you feel about that? I only feel blessed. It was a seed through him, through that ministry. It was a principle I was working in their field. I just chose to now go work it in another field. I don't feel bad about that. Something big is coming for me. Every time something like this happens, y'all, this is the 6th time, same time of the year. And you're going to watch me walk into it like you always have. When they first started saying I make millions I hadn't made $1 million in a year yet. But sometimes your enemies are your elevators. They're your footstools you step on to reach higher. Then I started making $1 million, generating it every 50-something days. Have your way on the internet. Clip this, say whatever you want to say. This is for the public. I'm not mad. I'm not triggered anymore. I got sense enough to know I'm still hurt, but I heal quick. And I will be okay. But this was a lot. I don't want to make something worse, but over the last 2 months, you guys, people have attempted to smear my name in my community. People I paid. Try to make partners of themselves, clients for themselves out of my community. Attempting a coup and an extortion in my community. And I'm talking about people I have known since they were kids. You may think, of course you hurt, but I didn't think I was. I didn't think I was. Because I understood how we got here. I didn't think I was hurt by my former mentor because I understood how we got here. When I asked to talk to him, he didn't respond. His response was online. So I understand how we got here. Those hands that anoint are not supposed to be exposing young sons in the prophetic. You're supposed to be a teacher. I'm not saying you're not, but you ain't acting like one. And this stuff of trying to control people, telling parts of the story, narratives. Now they're looking down their nose at Matthew. You know, the internet already don't like them. Internet already don't like me. Internet already don't like Brian Carn. And the internet already didn't like Manasseh. And you, with your mouth, as a black man against another black man that you're supposed to be helping and mentoring, you destroy. And you go to platforms who are involved in the destruction of the black church and black prophets. 2 of your Aquarius friends, George Bloom and myself, I do not think there's a prophet in your community at all. I don't believe it. Because a prophet of God in Christ Jesus, let me say that, a true prophet of God in Christ Jesus, and I taught y'all the difference, will have to tell you the truth. And it would never come out of the mouth of the therapist that you already have on payroll that you pastored for years. No. You need to go to therapy and heal. Call Brian Carn out. Stab him in the back. Hit the table cussing. I was there. Manasseh did what he did. I got to go to therapy. Hurt me so bad. Came on my platform, dragged him. Then me. Now Matthew. It's a pattern. Don't believe people. Believe patterns. And what I said was the absolute truth. I just packaged it wrong. And I'm going to tell you the entire story in members only when I end. One last thing. There's someone else that has came to me by night. They were not coming to me to be messy, but because they were lied to, they thought they could come to me about their truth and the truth of my former mentor. I recorded every conversation and told them I recorded it. Not every conversation. If this is a lie, he told it. And I'm going to tell you what that is in members only. I'll see you there.